keep listening to what the Ukrainians are saying, because the current hot rhetoric is coming from Washington, not Brussels, not Berlin, not Paris, and especially not Kiev. The Ukrainians specifically push back on Biden, saying that, look, your intel does not match our intel, and given that that's our country, maybe we have a better idea of what's going on our border. That would be like the Ukrainians being like, let me tell you what's really happening down in Mexico.
Right,
we'll be like,
exactly.
you know, I think we know pretty well what's going on in Mexico, okay?
The more that time has gone on, the more vocal the Ukrainians have been to say, hold on a second. Things here aren't really that different than they were over the summer. Reporters on the ground in Ukraine say people are going about their daily lives. Everything seems pretty normal and pretty calm. What the hell is going on here? Why is the U.S. suddenly so invested in amping up the rhetoric? Well, one of the things that you always have to consider in terms of American context is just how much money there is to be made off of these conflicts. You've got Raytheon's CEO and other military-industrial complex CEOs just outright talking about how much money there is to be made over these types of conflicts. And oh, by the way, you know, we just got out of Afghanistan. They got to look for somewhere else where they're going to make a buck and continue to generate those fat profit margins that they've come to expect. Then you look at who the media is sponsored by. You've got an article here that quotes Jen Psaki saying Russia could at any point launch an attack in Ukraine. Right below it, powered by Lockheed Martin. You have to remember, these groups of people are directly intertwined. Sometimes the people they're bringing on their airwaves as supposedly neutral actors have financial interests at stake in these conflicts. They feed into this rhetoric that the Ukrainians are saying, listen, your rhetoric is not helpful. It's not accurate. What's coming out of your media is propaganda. And the actions that you're taking specifically with removing the diplomatic families from the country are really exacerbating the problem.
We are not listening to the actual Ukrainians. The Prime Minister of Ukraine specifically calling out the U.S. media for not reporting the truth and for inflaming the situation. Let's take a listen.
We've talked to the president. We've talked about this. We think that there has to be a balanced approach. I'm not saying that he's influencing American media. They're independent, but the image that mass media creates is that we have troops on the roads, we have mobilization, people are leaving from places. That's not the case. We don't need this panic.